Hello everyone and welcome back to UE5 BP Guru. We're back in the multiplayer Pokemon tutorial series for the members. So thank you so much for being members and thank you for being here. And let's get back down to the attack code, I guess. So last time we finished off, we were basically setting up the beginning choice of the move and getting it to sort of acknowledge what move we've used. And if we had obviously missed our attack. So in this episode, we're going to now start moving on into actually working out the attack. So we're going to get our selected move to begin with, and we're going to break that. And the only two things we need from this at this point in time is the move power. So this one, and the only other thing we need to know is a multi-hit. That's the only two things we kind of need to know at this point in time. So the first thing we need to do is take our max multi-move and get a random integer in range. And we want it to always be 1 or the maximum. So make sure you change the first one to the minimum to 1 and the maximum you plug in this max multi-move value. I've made this a little bit messy, so I'm just going to move it back a bit. And we want to create a new attacking variable. So change the category to attacking. And we're going to change the integer type to, oh, it is already single, but set it to integer. And we're going to call this the generated multi-hit. So that'll be whatever multi-hit we generated. So set that, plug it in. And we also set this as a secondary value. So create another variable. We could have duplicated actually that variable. So maybe right click and duplicate and call this current multi-hit count. And just plug those in there. We want them to be the same value to begin with. And we need another variable, which is also going to be of type a category attacking. It's going to be a Boolean, and we're going to call it proceed. So if we go into here and set, and we want that to be false to begin with, we're going to do a branch. And what we're checking for is if our move power, wherever it is, sorry, from here, move power is equal to 0. Now, if it is equal to 0, that means it's going to go into a stat attack. So we'll create another custom event. We're going to create 2 custom events, sorry. We're going to create one that is a stat attack, and we're going to create another one, custom event, called multi-hit. Now, if it's true, it's equal to 0, we can bypass the multi-hit and go straight to a stat attack. If it has got power to it, so we want to do some damage, we want it to go to our multi-hit function, like so. And that's that for now. The next thing we want to do, so we'll continue on with this journey. We're going to create a custom event called condition move. This is kind of like the final process of this journey. So we're going to put a branch check in here. And we're going to get our selected move again. So we can actually just copy and paste this. And we have a Boolean check called does afflict. So we want that one. That's the only thing we need from this. We're checking to see if it will actually do a condition move. We're going to create a new function here called condition move used. Come back into the event graph. Obviously, again, we'll fill all these out down the line. We'll do a delay. Again, 1 or 1.5 seconds works pretty nicely. And we'll grab this. Like so. And then we're going to create a couple of more functions. We're going to create an attacker health check, and a defender health check. Oh god, we got a lot of functions open now. Drag these out as well. Again, we only need a defender one for now. For this part, if it's false, we can just go straight into this. And then we need a update defending ringmon, and that will get plugged into here. And then from there, we need to do a branch, and we're going to do another variable. This is all setup, so I do apologize. It's not the most interesting part, I suppose. We're going to check to see, not the ringmon, rename. I've renamed some of these as my own game. I apologize. Pokemon Dead, and rename this one to Pokemon 2. Okay, so plug is Pokemon Dead into there, and we'll just leave that there for a second. Now, the one thing we need to do is, if our attack missed, we can basically go straight past all of this into this branch check. So we can bring that up here, like so. So that's why I wanted to kind of continue this on first, is so that it looks right. So if we miss our attack, excuse me, we'll basically bypass all of this and go straight into the branch. This is Pokemon Dead, and it'll check. Obviously, if the Pokemons won't be dead at this point if we miss our attack, so it'll always come back false, and we'll just go straight off into the next part. But yeah, this will make sense momentarily, because we'll come back to this at the end of this whole attacking phase. Basically, if we multi-hit, we always go back into the stat attack to check if there was any stat decreases, and if once we go through our stat attack, we go back into the condition. But obviously, if it's not if it's not got any power, we go straight into the stat attack, which then rolls back down into the condition move. So that's kind of why we do it this way. Once we have finished, obviously, this section here, let's go on to the next part, which is back over here. We're going to just finish this off. So we check to see if the Pokemon's dead. If it's not, we do another branch check here, just to see if P attacking. And then if that's true, we just need to do two different things. And those revolve around whether the player is first. And then we get enemy's turn. If it was true, we do the enemy's turn. We do an end turn. That goes into both the false and the truth of the bottom one. And then we get the player's turn, and that goes into the false. So it should look a little bit something like this at the end of that. And if this is true, we do another branch here. And again, it's just checking to see if the player was attacking. And we'll create another function at this down the line once we come to deal with like defeated ringmons, to determine whether the ringmon is defeated or not. And that will basically go off to give XP and do all that kind of stuff. So that's something we'll cover in a future episode. So for now, we should be able to go back over to the rest of the foundation breakdown and look at things like our multi-hit and our stat attack. Once this is done, we'll be basically going through the actual functions that we've set up. So let's go into here. We're going to get a camera switch, and we're going to set this to our enemy camera. Having realized this, we probably want to do something similar to this, wherever we did it before, up here, where we check to see if the player is attacking, and we go with the opposite. So I will do that now, actually. So this is where we're dealing damage. So is the player attacking? If so, we want to switch these now, and we want to look at our enemy, like so. So we can see who's actually receiving damage. Then we're going to create one more function, and we'll call this attacking move. And oh my god, I've got so many functions open, I can't see where my event graph is. There it is. So plug this in to here, and that's basically going to deal with all the actual damage itself. Then we're going to get our we need to create another one of our current attackers. We're going to duplicate this and call it current defender. And we'll get our defender's information. We're going to break it. And the only thing we need is the final stats. So everything else can be closed. Shut all that off. And we're going to break this again. We just need the HP basically. We want to just see, is it equal to 0? And if that's true, we can bypass everything and just go straight to the condition move, because we don't need to. We know it's dead. Even if it gets given a condition, it's gonna die. Basically, it's gonna be done for. And if not, we want to get our current multi-hit generation, current multi-hit count. Sorry, we take. We also want to do a get of that, and we want to say -1. Plug that into there. And then we want to just basically check to see if that is equal to 0 now. And if that's true, we do a stat attack. And if it's false, we rerun the multi-hit, like so. Just like that. And that's the basic functionality for the multi-hit. So basically, if I said tackle can hit anywhere between up to 7 times and it rolls a 4, it'll just basically do a tackle, do a tackle, do a tackle, do a tackle, and then end the turn. Or move on to see if we did a stat attack. It will not apply stat attacks multiple times. If you want it to do that, you need to run the stat attack here, and then at the end of this, run into the condition move instead. It's very simple to change it around if you want to, but that's for you to play around with. This is just how I've got mine set up. So once we've done that now, we can basically move down into the stat attack down here. We want to do a sequence, so hold S and click. And we want 3 pins. So we want a branch, and then from the bottom one, we just go into the condition move. And what we're doing is checking basically if it affects ourselves or the enemy. So you could have it set up that it does both. So if you wanted to up your attack and lower their defense, you can absolutely do it that way. So we're going to break this, and the only things we want from this is we want to know where is it? Oh, I've got the wrong one. That's why. My apologies. We want the selected move. Sorry, that's what we're looking for. Break that, and we'll get the. We just need the stat up and the stat down basically for this. So stat up goes into there, stat down goes into there, and we can just tidy it up a little bit. And then from these branches, we only want to do stuff if it is if it's true. So what we're going to do is we're going to get two new functions. We're going to call buff attacker stats and then debuff defenders stats. And go back into the event graph and we'll plug both of these in, ready to get them working in the next episodes. So like that. And then what we need to do is bring out that we have the update defending Pokemon. We need to get, I thought I did the update attacking. So we'll do an update attacker Pokemon. There we go. And we'll plug that one in here. And that is that setup. That's literally all it is. And that is kind of attacking in a nutshell right here. So we can comment this off for now and say use attack. You can amend this, by the way, and have it laid out however you want for your game. In the sense that, as I said, if you wanted the multi-hit to also deal stat damage every turn as well, you can do that too. As I say, you would just need to run this every time. And you wouldn't need this here. You could just say, okay, on here, run stat damage, and it would just run through both of these. And if there's anything it can change, it will just change it. And then for the condition move, you would just run that in the end here instead of the multi-tap. You don't want to be setting burn 3 times. That just doesn't make sense. So the condition move will always be just a singular kind of setup. But yeah, that's how I would go about changing it if you wanted to do it that way. But there's other ways you can make this and change it as well. So have a play around. Don't break it too much, otherwise you will have issues. But I'm sure there are things you can do to make it a little bit more streamlined to your own games. But yeah, that's the basic setup for attacking. We just need to go through and do the functions now. That might take another episode or two, but yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, leave a little like. And yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being members. And I'll see you in the next episode. Much love. Take care. Bye.